take us through the mindset year one going into the degree and getting that sort of experience?
No, I think it was just more of that, one of the uni courses, remember the time, was just, not sure exactly what it was, but it was just one of those units where you have to complete work experience, and online I came up with the under 16s, and it just started from there, mate, to be honest. And Western Jets are an affiliation of what was it, exercise science uni course over there at who was it now? That's a bit of a mind blank, to be honest. From there, yeah, it just started, and really got, I guess, in touch in the third year with one of the coaches who moved from Stingrays to the Sandy Zebras, and really liked giving that opportunity to try the VFL. So yeah, it's pretty one of those things that it started while doing education, but obviously a network there that got me through to work in the VFL.
And you mentioned you got into uni degree a little bit later than some others that go straight from high school. Were you doing personal training? Take us through what you were doing the years after high school.
Yeah,
before degree.
Just a bit of here, a bit of there. My old man was into the alcohol industry, so I was doing a bit of bottle shop running and working in that sector, and mate, not too much. Started off doing a little bit of construction. Literally fell into PT and started training myself, and it just, the missus, who is a good woman of mine, she pushed me into university, and it literally just started off that. There was nothing, wasn't really a good sportsman, and it's just one of those things where it's just gone, well, I wouldn't mind training an athletic population. So that was pretty much it, mate. There wasn't no mentor or no person or individual that sort of pushed me along that pathway. A little bit different compared to other journeys of other people.
For those listening, developing S&Cs, how important is it getting that experience? You mentioned the networking side with coaches giving you other opportunities. What other things did you learn and grow from by getting your hands dirty?
It was just more of progressing the skill set, the knowledge, the experience from just like the general population, and that's where at that time it was just like, well, how do you learn the material? And for myself, I like to practice. And I'm not really a good voice learner or a book learner. Considering, as I said, I started university later, so for me it was trying to understand the content and the knowledge at university was just more to somehow apply it in the field, and that's how simple it was for myself to merge practical experience with gaining knowledge.
How did you go with sticking fat and sticking in the system for that long before getting a full-time contract? Take us through for developing S&Cs.
Yeah, it's difficult to really explain in its entirety. Like being mature, I just sort of knew what I wanted. Although, as you know, it can be quite demanding being a nighttime program. And I guess I was just lucky enough to have support from my wife now at the time, and I had no pressure to sort of shy away from the VFL. So I really enjoyed it. I was engaged with it. I was passionate about it. So when you think you have those qualities and you're attached to it, it's just sort of like second nature. That was my personal feeling. So, and as I said, like, I was there for 7 years, but I sort of tried a new thing every year.
Take us through how that process would come about. With, around the October, November period, are you calling people and reading about how would you go about? Okay, this is the new methodology I'm going to feed into my philosophy with the program next year. How would that come about?
Originally you just sort of, as you know, you just sort of learn the catch. You try the basic things that you see from other AFL environments, or you try yourself in tack, and so you start off pretty basic, and then you after a year, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, that's probably, you could have done that better, or that might have worked, and it just rolled with the time. So 1 year I was looking at doing a training study, including the 30-15, and really got into that, and was lucky enough to study hard on it and get the audio tapes and just trial that from the start. And when and go, if you're not going to do it properly, well, there's no point. So just told it, mate, and off we went with that, and obviously went really, really gung-ho and trying to do it properly. And from there, you learn what's good and what's not, and how does it be implemented within your cohort.
You mentioned the engagement, like being able to talk their language when, like you said, athletes don't want to be in rehab, so it can be challenging to build that trust, but it's critical and it's really important. So how do you go about doing that when an athlete is really down and flat? What are some ways that you do to try and shift them, I guess?
Yeah, well, that's a tough one because, as I said, most particularly in good stages, every athlete's in pain. They're connecting with the ailment or the injury, whether it's tissues or joints. So it's more of like sitting down, I get engaged with them, we write down goals, we get specific in terms of what we want to develop, and it just starts from there. And so in terms of goal setting, practice, because at the end of the day, I think the rehab program theirs. So I want to make sure that they have some ownership and they master what they want to do in the next 4 to 5, 6 weeks while